Welcome to our weekly Bible Reader Companion series. This week our reading is taken from Matthew chapters 13 through chapter 22, with our memory verse being taken from Matthew chapter 18 and verse 4. From the New King James, our memory verse reads, "Therefore whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Today we're going to consider some passages found over in Matthew chapter 19, specifically verses 13 through 15. The setting of the scene here is very interesting or intriguing. Jesus has been speaking about the sanctity of the marriage bond as God purposed it from the beginning. Not only did God design marriage for man's good and for his benefit, he also blesses this union with children. We can see in this context about marriage that Matthew records what Jesus said about the sacred condition of little children. Let's pick up the reading together in Matthew chapter 19, beginning with verse 13. "Then little children were brought to him, that he might put his hands on them and pray. But the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, 'Let the children come to me, and do not forbid them, for such is the kingdom of heaven.' And he laid his hands on them and departed from there." The traditional Jewish custom when imparting a blessing was to lay hands on one and pray. Therefore, little children were being brought to Jesus so he could bless them. There's no indication of any specific healing going on with these children at this time. Mark's account says that he took them up in his arms, put his hands on them, and blessed them. The disciples, however, demonstrated an attitude that many may have in how they view children as potentially just a nuisance, and must have thought this interfered too much with the work of Jesus. Therefore, you see the disciples rebuking those who were bringing these children unto Jesus. Jesus corrects his disciples and told them to allow the children to be brought to him. Jesus acknowledged the innocent humility of little children by declaring, "To such belongs the kingdom of heaven." This ties in so well with our key text in our memory verse this week, as we see the kingdom is composed of those who, like children, are humble and therefore will yield themselves unto the Lord. Like children, who are pure and sinless, the kingdom is composed of those who have purified themselves by obeying the truth, by obeying the gospel. There is a lot of debate on this passage regarding what is the focus of the meaning being put forth by the symbol of using the child as Jesus teaches them here. Is it only the characteristic of humility, or does it also include this idea of innocence as well? Clearly, the teaching is inclusive of the fact that children are not born in a state of sin or have in any way inherited the sin of Adam or sin from their parents. The Bible clearly teaches that each person is responsible for his own sin, and children are not accountable until they reach an age to know good from evil. This is so contrary to those who believe in the doctrine of hereditary total depravity, i.e. that one is born in sin, and then who move from this false context to the next, teaching that babies or infant children need to be baptized. The Bible teaches that only men and women who believe are proper subjects for baptism, so this passage certainly doesn't support that teaching. Jesus recognized these children as innocent and sacred and used them in a clear lesson for all to hear and to understand. Those who would be his disciple must deny himself and have the humble, the innocent, purity, the simplicity, and truthfulness that characterizes a child to be acceptable to him. Let us seek to become the kind of disciple that will glorify God and be viewed as great according to the standard of the kingdom. Let's remember our memory verse, Matthew chapter 18 and verse 4. "Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." Thank you, and join us again tomorrow as we continue to meditate on God's word together.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.